BEEX project is a no-profit foundation about visual art and photography. If you want to help us, just drop a donation on buymeacoffee.com/BerlinExplorer. And welcome to this 50 minutes of experience. And today I'm with Jake Varley from close to Amsterdam. I don't remember, he will say now. And I'm a big fan of In Picture. I know him as Westgard from a lot of time. And I think it's before this project was called BerlinExplorer. He was there, and I'm really happy to have him today to talk with. So welcome, Jake.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm Jake Varley. I'm behind the account, the Mars Station and Veskerod, two projects that I run here from The Hague in the Netherlands. Yeah, I was there since the beginning. I remember the Instagram account was the cactus scene, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I remember it was very exciting from the very beginning, and we spoke a little bit in the early days.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that was really nice. You reposted some of my work, and and I would repost some of your stuff, and it was good. That was for the project Westgrad when we were first talking, right?
Yeah.
So an introduction to that. That project I shoot with film most of the time, and I shoot it around the city from where I am. Corona came along and I couldn't travel as much, and I had to make a project here because most of my work, I like to travel, I like to go to places. I have this love for Eastern Europe and the cities over there, and unfortunately for the past 2 years that hasn't been possible, and I had to make my own project where I didn't have to travel anymore. And Westgrad became that project where I was looking at how humans behave in urban spaces, the difference between the designers, the architects, the people that build and design our cities, and how we act. And it's completely different to how the architects design our world. And I'm trying to capture that.
I love your work. So I'm off part. I mean, I'm totally in your picture. It's for me. It's a really good research. It's really good made. Has a good structure, good visual design. I mean, I'm fan. I think I'm of part of that. So it's my voice in this case is difficult. I mean, for me today will be difficult to provoke you, as I do it generally in the podcast. But I'm really curious to know, first of all, if you are visualize in front of yourself a goal to reach with this project. I mean, I talk about the Westgard and where you want to go, with this project.
Yeah, I want to keep going. I want to break down the things exactly that we do different to I want to say the designers, the architects. I'm trying to see what things are reoccurring. So to be able to do this, I have to keep going, keep taking pictures, and build up a collection. This is something I noticed that I do. I'm a collector. I'm constantly collecting things. And for a long time, I wasn't very organized in this. I just took pictures that I liked and kept on with it. But then I noticed in other projects that I have things that are constantly reoccurring. So I'm starting to put all my pictures in baskets. So I have, for Westgard, for example, some of the reoccurring things that I'm seeing, things like the trolleys, you know, some trash that's left behind, graffiti that people put on the wall, or the people that erase that graffiti. So now that I'm starting to see some things reoccurring, I want to build collections of each of those things, um, and kind of see where that's going to take me. That's like the next step in this project, I think. Um, you know, like I just love those kinds of things, you know.
Yeah. I will love. I mean, I'm really tempted to ask you if we can do it a book of your project because I'm really into your picture. I mean, I like a lot the storytelling. I like a lot the subject, and I think they are full of meaning, especially telling about the society where you live in. It's really interesting for me. It's
Yeah,
full of subjects.
yeah, exactly. It tells a story of who we are as people living in these urban spaces, and how we communicate with them. You know, we don't just communicate with other people, but we communicate with space and with buildings. And you know, like I want to get to the bottom of it. Why do we do this? You know, one great example that I really love about this difference between like design space and the civilian is like, have you ever noticed when you go to a park or a space where there is grass, and then you have the path, you have the concrete path, and you have the grass, and the path is at a right angle, you know, it goes like an L shape, right? But people don't walk in an L shape. People will go the short route. So you can see on the grass that like the dirt, where people have walked on the grass so much, there's just dirt there because they don't walk the path that was intended again by the architect. You know, and
Yes.
yeah. So I need to get to the bottom of that. Why are we designing space in this way when obviously it doesn't work? You know, it's unnatural. We're obsessed with unnatural shapes and design, and it's not really who we are as humans. If you look at a lot of my work, I'm very like about architectural shape, and you know, very strong shapes, very dominating architecture, brutalist, constructivist, those kinds of things. But I don't think we're really, as a race, beings of this type of architecture.
Yeah. I think I'm totally agree with you in that point of view. But really, I'm curious about where come from this project. I mean, in general, where are you from? I mean, not in general, not about the country, about the feeling.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I was always interested in these sort of things growing up. I always had this interest for concrete architecture and for buildings and for space. Maybe this came from an interest in science fiction. I like a lot of science fiction movies, books. I read a lot of books. June by Frank Herbert, one of my favorites. And I guess my vision is just trying to capture these worlds um, in real life. You know, like how could you create these worlds using a camera? Um, and these buildings look like they come from these worlds. So I think I already had an obsession with them. And in the UK, where I grew up, we have a lot of concrete buildings. Like London, a lot of London was destroyed in the war. So everything was rebuilt in the 60s and the 70s. So we did it cheaply with concrete, and postmodern and brutalism was born. And yeah.
So I'm really curious. How do you consider London in general?
Uh, I don't know. London's
This is a tricky question.
a nice city. It's a very big city. I like to think we're the friendly people, but we're also extremely rude. Um, yeah, it's a thick skin thing. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, it's a city. It's really. I mean, It's probably one of the most cruel city I've ever seen in my life. In terms of society, it's really brutal in some ways. It's really nice, yeah, for sure. I mean, visually, it's really nice. Probably I had to spend more time there to meet more people, but the people I met was not really a pleasure to meet. But yeah, yeah, I will love to see for sure more London as in the sides, I mean not in the center, more in the sides. I walked a lot there, but I felt really a lot of uncomfortable feeling for poor people. I
Yeah,
felt the city
yeah,
is really restricted to humanity in general. It's, yeah, I mean, if you don't work, if you are not in the system, you can die practically.
yeah. I think it's a very tough city. It's a very expensive city. You can see the poverty if you know where to go. Um, yeah, I think these are the natures of these mega cities: Los Angeles, Paris, and London. I think they all have that kind of thing. Um, I think to like those kind of cities, you have to be there a really long time to understand how they work, how they move. You know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to be part of the system. This is,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
totally to be part of the system. If you're not part of the system, you cannot really understand. It's the same here in Berlin. If you are not part of Berlin, yeah, I mean, you can watch Berlin as a tourist, but doesn't understand anything really about Berlin.
yeah, this is something, yeah, that I try and touch on as well. That like cities are fluid, they move, but they move in direction, and every city moves in a completely different direction from another one. But you have to go with the flow of that city, or you're left behind.
Yeah,
So I think it's very important for people to find the cities that they like to live in, if they like to live in cities at all, because not everyone does. Um, but yeah, every city is different. You gotta find a city that has your flow. Um, at least that's how I always looked at it. I lived in a few different cities, and yeah, London's different. Every city is very different. We all have our own personalities, and it's not just about what country it is in, because one country can have completely different cities. So it's not always about the culture of a nation per se.
no, culture, no, because in the end, we can say I was talking before I was invited from another podcast to talk, and I was talking about culture and identities, and I'm truly think about we cannot talk about culture because culture is something we groove in different kind of roots, and yeah, it's totally different. The culture is totally different between a subject and another. It's completely different because come from different belief, different way live in the life and experience. And yeah, people as me, you traveled a lot to live in different cities and talking with the different people in the world. Uh, we cannot really talk about roots or cultural ideas because yeah, our cultural ideas are totally involved and influenced from everything.
Yeah, yeah. Multiple cities, multiple countries, and also time. Time is a huge influence. It's something that's also not really talked about much when you talk about people's personality and a persona of a cultural background. I mean, uh, countries also change over time. Soviet Union, Yugoslavia. If you think about people that come from those countries, you can have parents that are born in a different country to the son or the daughter. So
Yeah,
time
yeah.
is also a huge importance in like a cultural identity.
And do you consider all of these elements are really important in your project, in your work as a photographer? I mean, I don't know if you work as a photographer, but I mean, this work as a photographer in this case.
Yeah, I think it's all important. It's all about the urban experience and what really makes a city and the people within it. Obviously, I don't want to go too broad. Yeah, some of those things that we discussed you know, there are lots of things, there are a lot of things you can touch on, but you can get a little too excited if you go on about it. You know, so I'm really trying to focus on it. But yeah, I'm thinking about all these things all the time and how I can incorporate those things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm just letting it go with the flow and see what I'm discovering when I'm photographing. And
Yeah, I
go
like that.
to the
I like
bottom.
that immersion in the word. I mean, it's what I do it too, and in a way, it's also, yeah, to be open. I mean, not really open, but wide, to get what happened, and then to be there and to live and to get this experience. And this is something I think it's really important in the practice as a photographer, to be in the right time, in the right moment, and to feel the value, you know, the precious part of what happened in front of you or what you are getting in touch with.
Yeah.
This is really important, I think. It's
Yeah.
really the what make the change in our pictures. And I think, yeah, your work, as I said, it's amazing. So then uh, can give a lot of reflection about thinking way. And yeah, I mean, I will look forward. I want to work as an editor for you. That's sure. I mean, I'm totally in love with this kind of works.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
So just to go deeper and going the last question I want to ask you is, there was some experience connected you because of photography with something or someone in your life that touched you or changed your perspective in a totally different way?
I don't know. I think like when it comes to me and photography, I always carried a camera around as a kid. Um, and I don't know. I read these books and watched these movies, and then I wanted to create. I wanted to create a world. I wanted to show what was going on in my head. And photography is this incredible thing. You know, it's science. To me, it's science proving magic is real. There's this incredible thing where you can show someone else what you're looking at. And for me, you know, like when I was reading these science fiction novels and watching these movies, um, the problem with photography is that you have to photograph something that's real. And in the past, I used to draw a lot. You can draw anything in your head. You can draw a spaceship. That's great. I love that. But the challenge in photography is trying to make that world exist. You
Yeah.
have vision and you have to make it real. Like, you know, I see a building I like. Well, how do I make that building look like it's from you know, from a movie that you saw? And that's the challenge that I love. And, you know, it's making the world see what you see. And I don't know if I really had like a moment that really like exploded for me. And it was a gradual thing throughout my life and seeing other people's work and reading about other people's work.
Yeah, but
And I wanted to do it. So I just,
I mean, you have to keep on, man, because what you do is it's has a lot of value. I mean, not because other people that don't give value, but in this position, me, for example, as a curator, as an editor, I look every day thousands of picture of people, and I search in thousands of picture. I don't use all Instagram. I use many websites, different to search picture and to search photographer, and it's difficult. It's really difficult to find people as them own vision. It's totally difficult, and it's kind of searching in a box really big of Lego, and you're searching, you know, for this particular piece,
Yeah, that one piece.
And the color has to be probably is the same, but has some dots inside, and this is the difficulties. And I think, what is missed in photography today is this own vision. I mean, there are a lot of amazing photographers, a lot. I mean, there are more amazing photographers than shitty photographers, I think. But and this is the challenge when the photographer are high level because because the technique are more easy, the cameras are better, the the software to make post-production are really easy now. How do you find them? And this I think is only matter of feeling and experience. So that means you have to spend every day of your life watching, and really understanding what touch you. And what touch you is always something is in the upper level of what already happened in your life. So you have to search something touch you more. So if something was touching you 10 years ago, doesn't mean touch you now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. People change. Cities change,
Yeah. So this was Jake Westgard for me. And you will see the work of him, I hope, link in description. And I thank you a lot for this nice conversation. I hope to have many more conversation with you in different podcasts and to go really through every picture you do it, every situation you get in touch with.
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me again. It was nice to meet you finally.
It's a really pleasure. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Learn more about our project at allmylinks.com/BerlinExplorer or visit our Instagram and follow BerlinExplorer project.